easy. And he said to him, All these I shall give to you, if you will prostrate yourself and worship me. Matthew chapter 4, verse 9. Wednesday of the first week of Lent. In the third temptation, the tempter offers Jesus all the kingdoms of the world. All these I shall give to you, if you will prostrate yourself and worship me. What specifically is the temptation here? Let's start with Jesus' relationship with the Father. Jesus perfectly receives all that the Father will give to him. In the Gospel of John, Jesus says, Amen, amen, I say to you, a son cannot do anything on his own, but only what he sees his Father doing. For what he does, his Son will do also. For the Father loves his Son and shows him everything that he himself does. And he will show him greater works than these, so that you may be amazed. John chapter 5 from verses 19 to 20. In a sense, Jesus is saying, I only do what the Father tells me to do. I only say what the Father tells me to say. The Father gives me everything. Living in unbridled obedience to the Father is precisely what safeguards Jesus' communion with the Father. However, this obedience does not mean that life is easy. Jesus will endure his crowning with thorns. He will be beaten and scourged. The suffering of Jesus' passion will fulfill Isaiah's prophecy of the suffering servant. Therefore, in a sense, the third temptation is offering Jesus what is already his, but without the suffering. The enemy is saying, I'll give it to you. You won't have to suffer. I'll make it easy. If we are honest, most of us want things easy, especially when it comes to our relationship with God. Most of us do not like to struggle. Most of us run from suffering. When it comes to the things that are deeply personal, when it comes to the things of our interior life, many of us want it to be easy. How many of us resist, run away from, or do not even believe in the suffering as part of our spiritual life? In fact, there is probably something about your most alluring temptation that either promises to make life easier or alleviate suffering. But life is not easy. Suffering is a part of life. Here is the key. Either I am experiencing God with me in my suffering, or I am enduring the suffering alone. I often quote my friend Charles Mack, who once said to me, life is a lot less about what you're facing and a lot more about where you're looking. No matter what we are facing in our spiritual life, we are always looking at the Lord. When we are with God in our suffering, His strength becomes our strength. But when I think I am enduring the suffering alone, I instinctively grasp at something to make it easier. Jesus knows that his life will not be easy, and he will atone for the sins of humanity, many of which were sins that promised to make life easy. For your prayer, read Hebrews 12, verses 1 to 13. Read it 3 times very slowly. What words or phrase tugs at your heart? Talk to God about how this word or phrase applies to your life. What words stood out to you as you prayed? What did you find stirring in your heart?